I do believe that Christmas is a time of giving, but it's also a time of treat yourself and maybe receive a little bit. Let's talk about some new books added to the library in December. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike coming back at you with another book haul, this time for December of 2021. So I know I said when I wrapped up 2021 to be like, hey, we're closing down officially 2021 today, and I forgot there is one more. But this is it, guys. This is it for 2021. Lots of new additions to the home library this month, as per usual. It's a sickness, guys, but you know it's a blessing and a curse, but I am happy to have it. But let's do like usual, guys. Let's kick this off with digital purchases. Yes, they count. I don't care what anyone says, they count. If you watched my video I did recently where I talked about some standalones and maybe some palate cleansers, I think as I called them, one of the ones I mentioned on there was Boy's Life by Mr. Robert McCammon. Anytime I talk about Stephen King, someone always throws Robert McCammon at me. So I said I wanted to read either Boy's Life or Swan Song. I think I have settled on Boy's Life because apparently it's one of the best coming-of-age stories ever, and I did not own a copy of it. So I went ahead and picked that up on digital because I would really like to dive into that sometime, the first half of 2022. And then also, there's a series by Larry Correia called Monster Hunter. Well, guys, I already have that. But a couple of my moderators on my Discord, Madison and Brent, were carrying on about this book. It's book number 1 in the series called Saga of the Forgotten Warrior by Larry Correia. Just how much they wouldn't quit talking about it. I said, well, I got to pick that up now. So I went ahead and picked up that trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. I don't know. It might actually still be going, but there are 3 of them. So I assumed it was a trilogy. But, these days with fantasy, it's hard to tell. Sometimes, it's book number 3 of a planned 9-book series. But I don't know. But that's all I got on the Kindle this month. But plenty of things coming forward in the future because I did end up with a lot of digital credits on my account from Christmas shopping and stuff. And, we'll talk about that. And when we talk about January, let's go get into some of those physical purchases I did in December. Sorry, December. It is January. We're talking about December. But I continue to collect these Spellslinger books by Sebastian de Cassel. This is book number 4 in that series called Soul Binder. So I only have 5 and 6 left to get so far. Orbit, you're doing a good job of making all these spines match, and the numbers, it's really cool. I wish that more people would do that. But again, I don't have very much feedback on this series except I loved the Great Coats, and I'm happy to add more more of Mr. Castell's works to my home library. Now, this one, I read this book way back when I was a teenager in high school, and I really enjoyed it. And then I lent the book out to somebody, and I never got it back. And I didn't realize it until I did that best book number 1s in a series video a while back. Talk, of course, about Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I hope it's Follett, not Follett. I have no idea. Ken Follett's what I've always called him. But anyway, this book right here, I don't plan to reread it anytime soon. I wouldn't mind because it's a great book in my memory, but I would like to see how I kind of feel about it, maybe continue with the series over time. But it was one that really I wanted to get again because I realized I was never getting that copy back because I loaned it out literally before the TV miniseries came out. And I think that was in like 2009 or so, or 2010 maybe. It's a good miniseries, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it. But this book is just phenomenal, so I wanted to get it back on my shelf for when I do decide to revisit that series one day. One of my favorite series going right now is the Dresden Files. And you guys know I've bought the first 15 books in paperback. And they're not, it's just kind of this weird thing that Ace, is it Berkeley? It is Ace. I think they're affiliated with Berkeley. I don't know. The publisher thing is really, really weird. Anyhow, I got those first 15 books, and they're kind of like this weird thing where they're not like a trade paperback, but they're not a mass market paperback. They're a little taller. So I had to wait for Peace Talks and Battleground to come out on that size, and I finally did, and I got those 2 because one of my favorite series going right now, of course, I want to keep that collection going. So added those there. They've making sure that they're the right length and all that. Guys, it's book collecting problems, when you got to make sure, because there's nothing more frustrating. Like, I got that, the second book in that Lotland series, and the True Bastards is like this much bigger than Gray Bastards. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Anyhow, so all those Dresden Files books match. Dresden Files, don't know when we're getting another one, but I can't wait. I did get a manga this month. So it's Vinland Saga Part 5. Eventually I'm going to start this series. But like I said, I'm going to force myself to finish Berserk and Death Note before I start with this series. But I do just every once in a while, just pick one up when I feel like they drop to a decent price, because they're just awesome to have hardcover collections of these. And the Vinland Saga ones are just beautiful. So it's really, really awesome to keep collecting those. But again, I'm going to force myself not to start it, because I feel like if I start a third manga before I finish the first two, I'm just going to get to that point where I never finish any of them. And then some guys, not really some breaking news, but you'll hear me talk about it again when I talk about my TV over. Something I'm going to read this spring is The Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell. This is going to be my first venture into Mr. Cornwell. So I wanted to get this series a nice matching paperback. I had some people ask me where I got these. Guys, you can just get them on eBay for like $20, you know. So apparently they don't sell them like this in the States, I guess. I'm not really sure. But anyhow, matching set looks really, really awesome. I've seen some of those other covers and they look ridiculous. So I was happy to get this matching set that looks really nice. I'm very excited to start the series sometime this spring because, guys, I love The Last Kingdom. But the Saxon Chronicles, I was like, or Saxon Stories, I think it's called, actually. Am I wrong on that? Anyhow, that's 13 books, and I've made this promise to myself this year. Let's get back to trilogies, you know? Let's get back to trilogies or less, because starting these 10 to 13 to 15 book series, it's just draining me, and I don't like to do that. So I'm going to basically take at least a year off from doing stuff like that before I get into those long series again. But that's it on what I picked up for myself. Let's talk about some of the things that you wonderful, gorgeous people sent me in December. Okay, guys, first up, I did get some thanks from some independently published books and independent authors this month, so I thank them for dropping by. This is from Darren. This is called Blood Hunt, his book. And again, guys, I don't know anything about these, but I will be dropping links for all of them below, so if you want to look them up, please do. Then we have The Oathbreakers. This is the Elysian Tales of Saga, book number 1, and this is a huge book. This is by Mike Martin, and he sent me a really nice note. I do really appreciate that, Mike. I'm glad that you do enjoy the channel. That means a ton to me. It really, really does. So, yeah, this is beefy, man. This is really big one. So, then Parachute Mines, books 1 and 2. This is by Jeremiah Sanchez. Again, another nice note. I do appreciate when you guys send me these things, and of course drop me a nice note on there. And then this one is from, I think his name is Kaiser Nix, if I'm saying that right. It's 2 copies of the same book, but it's called South Pole Santa Claus. It looks like a comic book or graphic novel, but for younger audiences, I think, because he did sign both of these to my kids, and they really did look through the art and really enjoy themselves. They haven't actually read either of them yet, because making my kids read is like pulling teeth, really. You guys will understand one day, but buried it. But he did some really awesome art with it too. Really cool stuff. Now I don't know if he's the artist as well, but yeah, really, really awesome stuff. So thank you, sir. That is a really, really awesome thing. And my kids do get a kick out of any time something is, sent to them. That's when they approve of the time I spend in this office and away from them. And there are some things now from regular viewers. I remember I had one of those Target buy 2 get 1 sales, and I just needed a third book to kind of make things balance out, because you want to make sure you get 3 books for the same price, because they're giving you the cheapest one for free. And I picked up the first in a book by Till Cold Holt. And I forget what the series is called, The Drowning God or something like that. But I picked up the cover because it looked like a John Gwynne book, honestly. Well, Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, he actually sent me book number 2 with that, and she's putting out the 3rd one this year. So I do love me an author that writes, and with the series coming to a close, that'll be a good time for me maybe to dip into these. Don't know a ton about them yet, honestly, but yeah. Great covers. I mean, I do still buy books for covers, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. It does still happen. We had a Secret Santa ordeal on my Discord. It was a lot of people involved, and my Secret Santa, who I still do not know who it is, so they are playing the game right. The rest of us admitted who had who. But this person never, ever revealed to me who they were. They sent me The Art of War by Sun Tzu, a book that I really would like to read, because when I was going through business school, they talked about this book constantly, and I had that kind of smart ass attitude about I don't even know what time I'm going to be in a boardroom and feel like I need to bring a samurai to the meeting. But there's a much more to it than that, I believe. And, it's a book that's this old and is just talked about for that long for a reason. And this is just a beautiful edition. It really is. The gold edges and all that. But, yeah, I think that this would be something that, on some downtime, just pick up kind of on the side and read, and get that warrior mentality, especially when it's time to negotiate pay raises at the office and things like that. That's always a good time. My guy, he goes by Pillow on my Discord. I don't know if he wants me to reveal his real name. He sent me a Frank Herbert book I've never heard of, honestly. It's called the Santaroga Barrier by Frank Herbert. Yeah. And it's a really, really old edition, but it's actually in pretty good shape. I mean, it's got some yellowed pages, but it's still in pretty good shape for how old it is. Older than me, guys. So that's really, really cool. So thank you for thinking of me. I don't know if I'm... it's one of those things like it's never been like I don't know if I want to read anything else, because I've had people all the time. You love George R. Martin. Are you going to read anything he wrote outside of Song of Ice and Fire? And I was like, I don't know. So this I don't know if I'm ever going to read anything by him outside of Dune. I've just never really given much thought to it. But now that I own another one, maybe it's a possibility. Much more higher of a chance than reading anything his son wrote. That's for sure. How about this one? This is from Matthew. He sent me Thrawn, Star Wars. Now, this is in the new canon, and the note he wrote me is, I was apprehensive about the new canon as well, but, I went ahead and gave this a try, and it actually motivated me. Now, here's my thing, guys. Timothy Zahn is awesome. Timothy Zahn, I feel like, besides maybe Dave Filoni and George Lucas, he knows the most about what makes Star Wars click. He's always been my favorite of the original EU. I think he's always just hit a home run every time he's wrote a book in that universe. His books are so Star Wars, you swear you can hear the Star Wars music playing while you're reading it, because it just feels like Star Wars. The Thrawn trilogy is still my favorite piece of literature in the Star Wars universe. So Timothy Zahn, it's not going to be a very hard sell for me. I was really about, okay, they're redoing the origin story for Thrawn to fit in this new universe, and I don't know how I felt about that. So yeah, I didn't do it, and I was just I tried the new canon. I wasn't really feeling it. So, but if there is one that will make me give it a chance, it's this, because Timothy Zahn is a wizard, and I love him to death. Just like I love to death Diana from Diana in the Nook. She sent me a Christmas present that was far too generous. And I'm reading. Last time she sent me something, it was the Nevernight trilogy by Jay Kristoff, and I'm reading that right now. Well, she sent me another awesome collection. This is the Neuromancer by William Gibson, the whole collection here. And if this was on my my sci-fi series I'd like to read eventually. These covers are just so cool. I believe this is like one of the pinnacles of cyberpunk fiction, and so I would definitely like to get into that eventually. So I know that I tried to put a bigger focus on sci-fi last year, and I failed miserably. However, 3 of my top 5 books of the year were sci-fi books. So Neuromancer, at least that first book, is something I'd like to start eventually. And I know I said no more series unless they're like a trilogy. Well, I think 4 books kind of fits in that. I'll let that one slide, especially since I think one of these is kind of like an add-on. It's a trilogy and then either a prequel or a sequel. I'm not really sure. My guy Crow, another one of my patrons, sent me the final book in The Expanse, and good Lord, Orbit, you did it. You pulled it off. All of the Spines match. It's one of the finest, most handsome complete series on my shelf. I've still only read the first 2 books, but I do plan to get back to this one starting this year. I'm not going to do like a big rundown thing where I binge like 7 or 8 of them, but what I plan to do is just when I've got some time, I want some science fiction, this is at the top of the list, because I love those first 2 books. I love the television series, and everyone has told me they stick the landing. They being Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank, the 2 gentlemen who make up James S.A. Corey. So I'm excited to see how it ends. But I've got a long way to go before I get there. I assume that the show follows the books mostly, and I do have a friend who's really, really hardcore into these, and he's like, look, they do make changes, but they do very much still follow the spine of the story. And I think that's what's most important. So that's a series I'm very, very excited to continue sometime this year, and thank you, Crow, because this is awesome to get this complete series. Anytime you can get a complete series on your shelf, and again, all the Spines match, it's just the greatest thing as a book collector. So thank you very much, sir. And then Madison, that I do As the Wheels Turns with, and of course she is the one of the moderators on my Discord and a good friend, I believe, in real life. This is Madison. She gave me What Would Skeletor Do? Diabolical Ways to Master the Universe. This is a funny book, guys. It's basically, imagine if Skeletor wrote a self-help book, and it's completely meta. That's what this book is. I was in tears by like page 3. Nobody's worth going to Jared for. You can't help but read this in the old hammy Skeletor voice. It's so good, guys. It's so funny. I mean, I was just dying laughing. Me and my kids had a great time with this. So, Madison, thank you. This is really, really great. I am a huge Masters of the Universe fan, so it's really great. Anytime I can add some He-Man, some Skeletor stuff to my collection, that's always a great thing. But this book is so funny, guys. You got to pick this one up because you will laugh yourself to tears, especially if you grew up watching the old Filmation Masters of the Universe back in the 80s. This one's from Deanna. She actually wrote me right after Miss Anne Rice passed away, sadly, and said that, she has a first edition of Vampire Lestat that she wanted to send to me. And that is just so awesome that someone would think of me for something like that. This book from 1985, and it is in perfect shape. It's been very well taken care of. It looks like it might have been it's not necessarily a library copy, but it does have the library binding, but still it's in perfect condition. And again, something like that is just really, really awesome when someone thinks of you in that way. So lots of people, I think, have know that I'm a big Anne Rice fan, and I was very, very saddened by her passing. And so a lot of people have been really encouraged to pick up her stuff for the first time, and that just makes me, as someone who has just always said Anne will always be my vampire queen, that makes me very, very happy that more people are picking up her stuff. And Deanna, this is very, very thoughtful. Thank you so much. I will treasure this one along with my not first edition of Interview with the Vampire, but my very, very old edition of Interview with the Vampire. This one is from Joseph. Continues to send me just awesome stuff. He sent me some really awesome Lovecraft stuff and some Folio Society stuff. Well, he sent me the Divine Comedy. Man, this is great stuff. Dante's Inferno right here. This is it, guys. And this is a gorgeous edition. Does Barnes & Noble continue to just crush it, or what? I think this is Barnes & Noble, right? It might not be. But Divine Comedy, guys, look, I'm not wild about poetry kind of things. There's things that are written kind of in that style, which is funny because I'm starting Beowulf here pretty soon to review with Philip at the same time. But I like to think maybe at this age I'll be more receptive to stuff like this. But this is one that I actually liked reading in high school. I was very, very enamored with it. It almost felt like you're reading like a reverse Bible or something. This is it, guys. Like the different layers of hell and stuff. This is the read for you. Really, really kick-ass stuff. And it's just some stuff that's just eternal with this book. I think it will stick in your head forever. So, thank you, Joseph. This is a great, great gift. And, it's a beautiful edition. Again, just like shiny gold. I love it. It's gorgeous. And that is pretty much it for the books, guys. Oh, wait. No, there is one more. My guy, Medic, continues to be incredibly, incredibly generous to me. This is very, very heavy. I do love the Sandman comic by Neil Gaiman. When I found that comic in the 90s, it was kind of that thing where the first time really where I was kind of stepping outside of just, the DC superheroes, the Marvel Avengers, the things like that, and trying some other stuff and realizing, wow, not only can comics be a lot darker and sinister, but they can be really, really layered in in the fantasy elements. And it was just things that I didn't know existed with Sandman. And so he sent me the first omnibus edition of Sandman, which is, they're very expensive, guys. There's a reason I haven't got these yet. They're very, very hard to get a hold of. They're really out of print. You just got to buy used versions now, and they are not cheap. So I don't know what this ran, Medic, but oh my God, dude, it is incredible. Thank you so much. It's something I've always wanted. Now I get to kill myself trying to find volumes 2 and 3 without, spending my kids' college money. But, this is the business we have chosen as book collectors, but they're beautiful sprayed edges. And I think that the reprint is just stunning, almost like the Hellblazer one, where it looks even more colorful than it did on those original releases. So if you haven't read Sandman, guys, you need to. They're making a Netflix show of it. I'm sure they're going to ruin it because that seems to be what Netflix is doing with adaptations these days. Although I liked Witcher, but a lot of people didn't. But I think about like that Cowboy Bebop adaptation, which it had been out like a week before they canceled it, and Netflix really renews just about everything for a season 2 unless it's just really, really, really painfully bad. But didn't watch Cowboy Bebop, the anime, or that, so I can't really tell you. But this, I have high hopes for the adaptation, but I'll probably just end up rereading this again. I started to reread it. I said I wanted to reread it before the Netflix series had come out, but this is great stuff, guys. Honestly, before I read Stardust early last year, I think this is the only Neil Gaiman I've ever read, and it's, for me, that's plenty. This is an amazing series, and a lot of people think that they're above comic books and things like that, but guys, trust me, this is going to be right up your alley if you like Neil Gaiman. This is some of the best literature out there. It really is. I won't call it a comic book. It's just the story is that good. Characters that you will never ever forget. It's just incredible stuff what he was able to pull off there in the 90s. I loved every minute of it. I did get some stuff from Steph, another one of my patrons. We're going to be reading Codex Alera later this year, and I cannot wait. But she sent me this really awesome Zelda mug. I do think that Legend of Zelda is the greatest franchise in gaming, and I've been playing it since, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this, back in the 80s. And so this is a mighty gift. So thank you, Steph. My kid actually wants it a lot. And I was like, you don't even drink coffee. And he's like, I'll eat ice cream out of it. So, he's always thinking. She also sent me this. It actually came broken, though. This is a Skeletor Ornament. And it was actually packed inside, and the hand was broken off that was carrying the staff. So wife did her little wizardry and was able to fix that. So we got that corrected. And this will be staying with me instead of going packed up with the Christmas stuff all year round, because I think I'm going to put this with the book Madison got me. So yeah, it was a very Skeletor Christmas this year, guys. I did get a really cool gift from Nancy. Nancy is one of my patrons, and she sent me this really awesome It Tumbler by Stephen King. What is so awesome about this is, something I've complained about is it's hard to find, which is amazing because the guy is so successful. It's really hard to find a lot of Stephen King merch. It really, really is. Unless you go to like independent shop like Hotset 19 or Etsy and stuff. But the stuff that people do is just incredible. And it has like these little torn out burned pages, and they're all, dialogue and stuff from the book, pages actually from the books. It's such a cool thing that I was like, I'm not actually drinking out of that. That's going on my shelf. Something you might have noticed in this video, I got this cool Cthulhu shirt, Cthulhu rocking out on a guitar, It's really, really awesome. The thing is like somebody sent this to me. They didn't put a name on it. So I have no idea who sent it to me. So if you sent this to me, please send me an email, drop me a message on Instagram or something like that. Let me know that it was you so I can give you a proper thank you. This is really, really cool. Anytime I get any kind of new Cthulhu, our Lord and Savior Cthulhu, anything Lovecraft related, I'm obviously going to be very, very grateful for that. But this is a really kick-ass shirt. My kids think it's just hilarious. Cthulhu playing a guitar. It's just the funniest thing they think they've ever seen. But thank you very, very much. Please do let me know that it was you. Got a couple of cards. I got a really nice postcard and a Christmas message from Anna, one of my patrons. Really, really awesome Harry Potter stuff. Even had a really cool Harry Potter stamp. So I think she actually went to Universal recently and did the Harry Potter park, and I can't wait to take my kids to that. It's going to be really, really awesome. Watch that Harry Potter reunion. It was really fun. Between the tears, it was really, really good. Got another nice note from my lady Judy, who keeps sending me very nice things. Sent me a Starbucks gift card as well, and I did actually spend it this time. And while I was reading a book at a coffee shop, that's how I felt like it was really. This is it. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be buying a coffee and reading in the bookstore, right? But, it was kind of loud in there. It was kind of hard to read. But, hey, it's a Starbucks. What do you expect? But thank you, Judy. It's really awesome. Thank you again for your kind words. I always do appreciate your letters. They mean a ton to me. Leon actually sent me, I'm not going to say the dollar amount, but he sent me a hefty Amazon gift card, which I did actually put to work on, what is it? What did I talk about earlier? Anyway, some of the stuff I talked about that I got this month, I actually used it towards some of that, and then just save some for later, because there's going to be some book releases coming out this year that I'm going to want that. So thank you, Leon. Really, really awesome. Again, thank you for your note. That meant a lot to me. I do appreciate it. Rachel, another one of my patrons, she sent me a Barnes & Noble gift card, which I have already spent pre-ordering Hunger of the Gods, the next John Gwynne book. So I think she was very happy with that decision, because all of us pretty much on that Discord most of us are very big John Gwynne fans, and we can't wait to read that next one. Then I got a couple of board games. Yeah, I think I could talk about these board games. So on my wife's side of the family, her aunt and uncle, like he read, Lord of the Rings in high school and stuff. And when the movies were coming out, she said that her kids actually got them some of these Lord of the Rings board games, every December, because it was, when the movie would come out. So they get them one of these board games or whatever. And she said, we haven't played them in 20 years, and we know that you are still a very big Rings fan. Would you like them? And I said, yes, please. So they gave me Lord of the Rings Monopoly, which I've never played. And I actually kind of joked that we should get together and play it on the Discord, virtually. That would be a lot of fun. Get on Zoom and play some Lord of the Rings Monopoly. I'll move all the pieces for everybody. I'll be fair. I promise. The Bank of Middle Earth will be very, very fair with your gold pieces. And then I already had this, the Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit. I already had it. But here's the thing. The one I have, I bought used. It's missing some pieces. It's missing the one ring. It's not in very good shape. This is in mint condition. Has all of the pieces. Some of them are still wrapped, and it does have the one ring in it. But the thing is like my wife like refuses to play this with me anymore. Not my wife, because she's actually pretty good. We played this with some friends of ours, and they get pissed off. They're just like, this is bullshit because of how much I know. Because guys, I talk about it all the time. Yeah, I can't remember what I did yesterday because I got to push that new information out so I can remember the succession of the lines of King of Gondor. And I will do that. So when we play this game, it's pretty much me just destroying everybody so no one wants to play me anymore. But again, really cool to have this nice, very well kept version of the game because it's hard to find stuff like this now. You find stuff like this now, it'll have like Hobbit ones in there too for the Hobbit movies. This is just the original trilogy, and it's a really, really cool collection. And anytime, someone can send a mighty gift, I am very, very excited about it when it's Lord of the Rings related. So guys, that was December. Quite a fun month adding stuff to the home library here. Did you get anything cool in December that you want to talk about? Did you send me this awesome shirt? Drop in the comments and let me know, guys, and I will talk to you there.